at the Slovak University of Agriculture with slightly different background as my former colleagues had. And my background is IT. So also my presentation today will be a little bit different and more technically oriented, but I try to keep in my mind that you are involved in the agrotourism, in the tourism, and all these things that are somebody or someone can say too far from the technologies, but I would like to show you during my presentation how the technologies and the latest technologies could support your business in the agricultural, but also in the agritourism. So, if we are talking about the precision agricultural, what do you have in mind? I know that you have enough interactive activities today, but slight brainstorming. So what do you think if we are talking about the precision agriculture? Do you know this term? Or this is something that it's not very common at Vanuatu? You don't apply any technologies in the agri-food sector, in the agricultural activities. So if we are talking about the precision agriculture, so what we have in mind, what we are talking about, first of all, it's a digitalization. So it means the information and communication technologies, data. This is the basic for the precision agriculture, and all sophisticated or the right decision that precision agriculture should be based on. Then we have the satellite. Then we have the drones. Then we have the very popular or the very modern technologies, as is artificial intelligence. And also, if we are talking about the precision agriculture, also in our country, in Europe, we are talking about the large farms. We have a lot of experiences, a lot of research that focus on the point that the small farmers, family farmers, are quite skeptic about the precision agriculture. They don't want to speak about the technologies. They always ask for money and how I can be funded, and when I want to use or buy something, some expensive machines. But nobody thinking about the common technologies like the Facebook, like the other social media, like the QR codes, for example, or the simple photography. Everything this can help you as a small farmers, which in the country which is not very digitalized, or where the agri sector is not very digitalized, can support your implementation of the technologies and make your decision better to support your production, your business, your profitable at the end of your business, of your day. So I try to, sorry, I need to, okay. So why this topic matters? It's really my first time in Vanuatu, second time in the Pacific, but what I can understand that your farmer or your agri-food business, agri-tourism business is in the same situation as our small farmers in Europe. They are under the pressure. They need to compare the benefits and the economical situation. They need to keep in mind the bio products, or be bio, as in our countries usually say. You need to calculate how I will pay my workers, how I will be productive enough to stay alive with my business. So this is something that doesn't allow you to have a lot of money to invest to the technologies. Nevertheless, the technologies are developed, the production costs are increasing, the economic situation also because of war in Europe, in Ukraine, the world scale in Hormuz, in the Near Eastern. So everything is acting against the technologies and the innovation and the changing mind and go out of the box of even for the small and family farmers. So how the precision agricultural and how the new technologies can help you. They can reduce your cost for the water, for the fertilization. They can help you to have your production more effective because you know the data, you can analyze them, you can make a better decision based on the data. So this is everything that is highlighted in that green box, that the small farmers need to be productive, sustainable, and visible. And for all these 3 points, the precision agriculture or the technologies that are covered under the umbrella of the precision agriculture can help you, even if you will not invest too much money to the new technologies. So what is the precision agriculture, and what does it mean if we are talking about? As I mentioned at the beginning, this is not only about the expensive machines, expensive technologies, or the very sophisticated skills that you have to develop the application, to provide some machine learning applications and so on. But the basic principle of precision agriculture is to apply the right input in the right place and at the right time with the right amount. So these are the 4 most important points that help you to be more effective using the new technologies. So instead of have the whole farm covered by the different technologies, expensive machines, sophisticated applications, you just need to know how to apply these technologies for the correct place. So for example, traditional agriculture also in our country, we have the big issues with the rain, so the amount of the natural rains, especially for example, this year is critical, and almost from the beginning of the year, we have almost no rain. So this is very crucial because actually this period for us, we have the beginning of the summer, so the critical period for the planting and all agricultural processes. So what the farmer do? They have experiences, so if there is no rain, I need to add some artificial irrigations. But it's not correct because sometimes the cover or the soil at the top should look that there is the dry. But below in the root height or in the root size, there should be enough of the rain, of the humidity. So what do you need? You need to use the cheap sensors, put to the soil, to have the application, to have the way how to collect data, and you can see, yes, for this part of the field, I need to put some additional water, but this part of the field is okay because there is less of the sun or there is some shadow from the trees and so on and so on. So you save the water because you don't need to put lot of water to all field. Moreover, you also save the the health of the plants because some plants don't need too many waters and they are not react well if they are too irrigated. And so this is an example. Another example. Sometimes happened that if the plants have some disease or the bugs, but you cannot recognize it on the small place somewhere in the middle of the field. But if you use the drone, you can every day flying, you can save some image. Victor can give you some good example how our farmers work on it if you are interested about this. And you can, by image analysis, you can very well recognize at the very early stage if there are some risk for the plant disease or some bugs infection. So this is something that very clearly said that precision agriculture is not only about the advanced technologies, but it's about the early decision and better decision based on the data you can collect thanks to the technologies. how to implement the precision agriculture technologies to the micro farming. Because if you are the big boss, you have the huge farm, so there are a lot of companies that coming to you, present the newest technologies. They show you, or they give you the exact business or the action plan, how to implement, and the cost benefits analysis, how you be profitable. But this will not happen to the small farmers. So how small farmers need to do? First of all, you need to thinking about the local relevancy of the technologies that you want to implement. The solution that could work on the European huge cereal farms may not work to your tropical small farms. So what kind of questions you should or you need to ask at the very beginning? Do I need irrigate today? I think that for the Pacific Island, it's not the question, but for the Central Europe country, it's a critical question, because really the precision farming, it's very, very well established in the sector of artificial irrigation. Which part of the field needs my attention? So I am not expert in the tropical farming, but I guess that some fruits could be planting in the forest or in the trees that you really don't need to care, but you have some fields that need the higher attention. When should I harvest? How I can explain this practice to visitors? Because also I heard here that some interesting ideas for the agrotourism. So you count or you have plans how to incorporate the tourists and the visitors of your farm to your business plan. So how these technologies could help me. So it's not necessary, it must be said that it's not necessary at the very beginning to cover everything with the technologies. But you can pick up some critical points that it's more important for you, and you can start with these technologies. So you have to keep also in mind that the technology must fit to the farm, not the opposite way. So don't try to apply the technologies just because you like it. Don't apply the AI client or the machine learning practices because you are good in the programming. If it doesn't work, so it is useless. So let's compare the traditional approach and the precision agriculture approach. How they can support the decision, data decision. So in the traditional approach on left side, many decisions are based mainly on the experiences. Even at our university, we try to learn students about the traditional approach to the farming. So it is done like this way, the experience are this way, the publications say this one. But the climate change, and it's significant that especially in Europe, it is significant how the climate changes are coming and how they change even the production that we have. On the other side, this experience approach is not something that we need to remove totally, because even if you have a data and you have some AI tools that help you to analyze data, to give you some prediction, to give you some advising, you always need the human that say, yes, this is that correct, yes, we can consider also this, and so on and so on. So don't left the experience, the farmer's experiences in total, but you need to consider it and keep them. The traditional farming also applies the irrigation and fertilization on the whole farm, whole land, which is not correct, as I already mentioned, because it highly depends on geological location on the same field. So some part can be shadowed with the tree, some part may have some backup or bottom water, and it's a really big impact on the decision. On the other side, precision approach. Oh, yeah, I already mentioned the decision-based are based mainly on experiences. On the other side, the precision approach helps the early detection of the problems, because you know what kind of plants, what parts of the land need the irrigation, need the fertilization, need some treatment. You can use your resources more efficiently, even if we are talking not only about the water or the chemicals, but also about your money. And also in relations with that plant disease, for example, or bugs invasion, we are talking about the better timing of intervention, and at the end, or at last but not least, we are talking about the decision supported by observation and data. So this is to shift from the traditional approach to precision approach doesn't mean just the shift from the tradition to technologies. It's shift from the decision based on the experiences to the decision supported by experiences, but mainly it means to shift in your mind that you need to accept that not only your experiences or the experiences or your former owners or co-workers can solve the problems on the farm, but you need to know how to trust the data at the end. So, how the precision agricultural works, and as you can see on that diagram, it's based on the simple decision cycle. So it means the measure, understand the data, act, evaluate the result, and communicate. So if we are talking about the measurement, or observation, you need to have a way how to collect data from the soil, weather, crops, or from the visitors, because also this is the part when you can collect the data. So actually now the technologies and the sensor, really very cheap sensors, are available to easy transfer data from the sensor to some control unit or the computer and some applications. So this is really very easy way to do it. The second part is a much bigger problem, and I said that also at the study programs or the courses that we offer, we need to focus attention to learn students how to interpret the data, how they understand the data. Because the data is something in the present time, something which will have a significant value in our economics. So, it doesn't matter how many data you collect. If you don't understand the data are useless. So the third step is to act. So if you analyze the data and you understand the result that the data give you, so you can act. You can irrigate, you can fertilize, you can apply the right amount of the chemicals, you can harvest the plant, or you can adjust activities at your farm according to the visitors' feedback. That fourth, the farmers evaluate the results. So did the plants recover? If no, what is the problem? Was the water safe? If not, how I can improve it? Was the harvest better? If no, what is the problem that I didn't collect or I didn't harvest the better amount of my products? Did visitors understand the activity? Did they enjoy the activity? If yes, fine. If no, how I can improve? So you need also collect the feedback, not only from the visitors, but also from the fields. And the last one, communicate. At the end, this is especially very important for the agritourism. So you need to communicate how I improve my farm activities using the technologies, how it can help me. It is not only about the agriculture production, but these steps is also about the education. You learn your visitors about the processes at your farms, and you increase the general knowledge in the population about the sustainable agriculture, about the climate changes, and all about the related things, because you can show that, look, when I didn't use these sensors, these technologies, I spent such money, such amount of the water, but look, this helped me, this is have impact on my final cost-benefit profit at the end. So you need to find also the story behind these technologies, and you should include the part of the education and the rising awareness about the climate changes and all related things to your activities. So if you have a farm, if you have your business, so what kind of technologies you can implement and don't go to the bank, don't be bankrupted, for example, don't lose too much money. So as I already mentioned, soil moisture sensors, it's really cheap. You can use them very easy, manageable. Small weather stations, because also, for example, I work on the research when I combine the different data from the sensors, from the plant characteristics, from the weather stations, and we try to create the AI models which allow us to predict the amount of the artificial irrigated water, and this is that allow to develop the model that I can manage, I can plan the irrigation and the amount of the water for the longer period. Then there is a lot of mobile farm management apps that help you not only to see the sensors and all the technologies that you implement at the farm, but also help you to provide some management decisions, some qualified management recommendation or the decisions. So that the GPS field mapping, the drone imagery. So the drone is very important, not only in the point that you check the health status of your plants, of your farm, but this is also a very good point for the marketing. So if you can invest to the drone, it's really a big issue and a big helper to promote activities at your farm. Then smart or drip irrigation, digital farm diaries, and a very easy way easy tool how to use the technologies in agritourism, for example, are the QR codes. These QR codes can be linked with for example, I don't know if you heard about the blockchain technologies. If you can say, if you're thinking about the blockchain, it's usually linked with the cryptocurrency. But in agriculture, and what was mentioned yesterday by Igor about the certificate of origins of the food or the products, you can very easy to follow the origin, the real origin of the product using the QR code or the blockchain technologies. So what to do if if you want to start with the technologies at your small farm? So as already mentioned, a good starting point can be a soil moisture sensors, because the water, I don't know how the situation here is with the water and the rainfalls. Depend on the location. So nevertheless, doesn't matter, the water is something that will be our goal in the near a few years, so it's very important to save the water. The small weather station can support, and as I already mentioned, the rainfall monitoring, simple irrigation schedules, or the farmer observation supported by data. So the drones I already mentioned, but drones and image-based monitoring. So as I already said, you can use them, observe the farm from above. So you can quite fast, I don't know, Victor, it's about 1 hour to flying for the big field to scan or to record the video. And then there is a lot of free for use, but also the commercial softwares that help you to analyze the video and the situation on the field. You can use the well-developed system like NDVI index, which help you to identify the situation with the health of your plant, of your products. So you can monitor how the crops are growing, detect visible crop stress. So you are not able as a person, as a human, to see from the ground the whole situation at your field. But if you have the drone, if you have the high view, so you can very easily detect the visible crop stress or the bug infection. You can also document the seasonal changes. So for example, the experiences of our farmers say that the harvesting of the cereals are at the beginning of July, but it's not true already anymore, because it's moving to May, to June. So it's really, the climate changes are significant. So you need to also have in mind this point. Already mentioned the attractive promotional content. So the drone is really very effective tools how you can promote your activities, your farm, your business on the social media, YouTube channel, and any other online tools that are available, that are popular at your countries. So drones can be both a monitoring tool, but also the very nice tool for the storytelling, because also Mirka mentioned it, and also Igor had this point in their presentation, that for the good marketing, good commercial, or the commercial success of your activities need a good story behind your business. Mobile apps and digital records. It can be any kind of mobile application that can help you to organize your work, that help you to plan your work. You can collect data from the planting dates, and you can, based on the experiences, but also in line with the collected data, plan the harvesting, plan some treatment activities, and so on. Irrigation, if you collect data from the sensors, from the weather stations, you can have a very good plan for the irrigations, fertilizations, pest and disease observations. For example, in our country, again, I don't know how it works here, but we know that for some kind of disease, you need to, for the peaches, for example, or for the apricots, you need to apply chemicals in these 2 weeks. Otherwise, you lost the fruits. So this you can help, or this mobile application, digital records, can help you to don't forget, because we are always very busy. So the weather notes, you can see in the weather application the prediction of the weather for the 7 days. So you can start to thinking how to plan, for example, the harvesting or the irrigation or the fertilization, because you cannot apply, for example, chemicals for grapes when it's rainy. So you need to plan it. So this is a very simple farm diary. This is a very simple tool that can become a powerful management tool. What about the precision agriculture and sustainability? We discussed also yesterday with the ministries, what does it mean, the sustainability? If we are talking about the sustainable agriculture, are we speaking about the ecological agriculture? What does it mean? Does it reflect only the climate changes, or it is also sustainable because of the cost-benefit profit? So this is something that needs to be clarified, and from my point of view, it's very close linked with the context that the sustainability is mentioned. So if we are talking about the sustainability of your business, of your farms, what the visitors are usually asking? What does, how I can, this is what I mentioned, that they are asked, are you have in mind the biological approach or bio approach? Do you have in mind the economical profit at the end, or do you have in mind the sustainability related with the commercial profit? Precision agriculture can help you make the sustainability visible and concrete. How you can do it? So, for example, soil moisture sensors and drip irrigation can show how you save the water. Better records can support the more efficient fertilization. So you can always show the nice pictures, nice graphical presentation, infographics that the visitor shows that how ecological I am using the new technologies, for example. Also, the precision agriculture helps reduce the production losses. So if the problems are identified earlier, the farmers, or you can respond before the damage became serious and recognizable, even for the humans staying on the ground. Another important benefit is the climate resilience. So monitoring soil, water, weather, and crop conditions help to farmers adapt to drought, heat, irregular rainfalls, or new pest pressures. For example, in the Central Europe, we started to fight with the disease and the bugs that we didn't recognize earlier. So we need also to adapt our crops to the climate changes. For consumers and visitors, which is linked with the agritourism, very important is transparency. So how you produce, what kind of fertilizer you use, what kind of agricultural processes you apply. So this is everything that can be recorded and present in some nice, attractive way or as a storytelling to your visitors. So this table shows some practice, some good practices, how the visitors can experience from the precision agriculture technologies. So, for example, for soil sensors, you can show them how do we know when the plants need the water. Weather station, how does climate affect the production? Drip irrigation, how do we save the water? Drone image, what does the farm look like from above? Digital diary, from seed to plate story. You also have a farm to table strategy, which is implemented here. We have the farm to fork strategy, and this is very nice story. This can help to create very nice story and show the road of the food I have on the plate, how it was planted, how it was transferred, and what is the story behind. And also the QR code, as I already mentioned, product origin and farm story. How precision agriculture can enrich agritourism? It's summary because we spoke already about all the points. So, firstly, make sustainability visible. Sustainability is something that works in present world. Creating educational farm tours. This is what I highlight, that the education role of the farm is very crucial because again, back to Europe, there is not many young people that are interested about the agro sector and the agriculture in general. But you can show them that this is not anymore dirty job. This is very sophisticated job. And also we discussed yesterday the problem of the self-sufficiency of the food production in specific countries. And the situation with the world or the war situation in Hormuz and the Ukraine show us that this is really critical and crucial to try to be self-sufficient in food production. You can support farm-to-table storytelling. You build trust with your visitors. So if you show them that, look, this is real my product, and this is not something that I sell the watermelon at the market, city market, as a home product, and I recognize that this is from the Hungary, not from the Slovak. So this is something that you can build the trust with the visitors. You can show the innovation in your rural area. This is something that it's some contradictory that we said. We also presented that a lot of people from cities try to go back to the rural area and see the traditional way of life. But these people also need the internet connection, they need the mobile application, they need the social media. And you, if you want to be a successful farmer, you need to offer them these experiences at your farm. So this is the connecting tradition with the modern praxis. Also that Miriam case about the Lishow Museum was a very good example that they are very traditional, but for the advertising, for the promotion, for the hiring people, they use the technologies. And the creating content for social media and promotion. You are much younger than I am, and I am sure that you doesn't read the newspaper, you doesn't listen the radio, and your main tools for be aware or have some information are the social media. Doesn't matter which one, but the social media. So this is something that you have to be and you have to also consider. So I am almost at the end of the presentation. So what are the examples of smart agricultural activities? Smart farm walks. So you have a tour at your farms with QR code where you put some information about the point. Soil moisture demonstration, drone view farm presentation, water saving workshops. It's a quite interesting topic, again, in our country, which we fight with the lack of the natural rainfalls. From soil to plate experience or farm to table, farm to fork strategies, QR code product tasting, so you can organize the tasting party, tasting activity, tasting event, and you can give about the every product, the information behind the QR code. Climate smart farming corners, or the children activities, young farm scientists. So let the kids play with the soil, with the activities, and give them the technologies, give them some sensors, give them some mobile application, give them computer, and they will see that this is not about the cleaning the stables, but this is something different. Here are some 3 examples of smart agriculture, agritourism activities from Europe. I will highlight the second one, which is the Slovak Living Lab under the project Codex. It's about exactly I mentioned. So we have the soil moisture sensor, weather station, IoT devices which supporting the irrigation decision and can be used for the farm demonstration and virtual farm tours. With these all 3 examples are linking the terms the living labs. Maybe for the farmers it's not so interesting, but for the universities that you can use the small laboratories or some track with the technologies that can demonstrate the farmers the technologies and their benefit to the production. So, storytelling, digital storytelling and the promotion. This is also already several times mentioned. So, how you can create the communication content using short videos from the fields, before and after visual. So this is very, very popular to see the before and after. Farmer explaining one smart practice. So farmer can record the video and he can promote his farm, himself, and also the smart practice. Drone shows again the QR codes, and again the educational social media post. Don't forget, every time you post something on the Facebook, on the other social media, give that educational background. Why this is important? How this helped to me? How can you benefit from this, and so on? And the visitor-friendly sustainability message. So don't say we are sustainable. Everybody say that I am sustainable, I am bio, but say how you are and what is your additional value to the sustainability. Okay, this is some example what a smart garden walk. So how you can implement the precision agricultural tools and technologies if you have the small garden. I think that you mentioned that your business about the planting, and then you will cook this plant for the visitors. So this is example how you can improve it, how you can add some additional value, and you can install some soil moisture sensors and the drip irrigation if it is necessary. And the visitor can measure soil moisture, learn when irrigation is needed, and you can give the message that the water is used carefully and only when the plants really need it. You can use the promotional sentence, for example, taste vegetable growth with the respect for every drop of the water. Because it's based on our experiences that this is something that we really need to focus on. What are the risks? Because on one side, it's a benefits that precision agriculture can bring to you, but on the other side, there are also always the risk and the limitations. So first of all, and this is also the main message from our research, what the small and family farmers say, that this requires a high investment costs. Nevertheless, as I explain and try to give you this message, that this is not always about the high investment cost. Another problem is the lack of digital skills. You say that you are the students of the agribusiness. Do you have some digital, some coding skills? Do you know how to work with the AI, for example? How is your position in the digital skill? Okay, so the weak internet connection. This is also the disadvantage on the rural areas, and doesn't matter if we are the Vanuatu or in the Italy or in the Slovak, always you fight with the weak internet connection in rural areas. Maintenance of devices. If you have a lack of digital skills and you are afraid of the technologies, you will need somebody external who will maintain the devices. Very important and very critical risk and limitations are incorrect interpretations of data. As I said at the very beginning, if you don't understand the data, you cannot do the correct decision, and at the end it can lead to much more problems than if you have a traditional approach to your agricultural activities. If you apply and if you use the technology without the clean purpose, just have the drones, just the artificial irrigation controlling with the AI or some other systems, if you don't have the purpose for this, it's just the losing of the money. Drone safety and privacy rules. I don't know how it works here, but in Europe there are a lot of restrictions. You need to have the different kind of certification and the licenses. So probably you need hire the external body, external company which will work with you. And loss of authenticity in agritourism. It was also mentioned here that a lot of people coming to the rural area to see the traditional way of life, and they are not interested about the technology. So you need to find a very sharp balance between the expectation of the tourists and the visitors and the technologies that help you to grow your business. So how can the microfarm start with using the technologies? So identify the problems. What are your problems? The water, crop stress, weak promotion, low visitors engagement, anything you see as a problem, write it on paper, identify it, and start with this point. Choose one simple tool. If you have a problem with the water, choose the sensor. If you have the problem with the promotional, try to use the drones videos, drones images, or the QR code, or some e-marketing, online marketing that can help you. Test on the small scale. So don't do this, that I will implement the chosen technology for the whole farm. Just the test firstly. Then measure the benefit. How much water was saved? Is my planning better? The interest of the visitor have been increased? If yes, go to the last point, implement on the other part of the farms, and turn it to the story. So now, this was the end of my presentation, and I don't want to ask you to do some workshop and the presentation. Just I would like to open the QR code, and I will stop it, this one, and we'll open. So here are here is the QR code, and also you can answer on the question, what do you have in mind when you hear the precision agricultural? You just have two connected people. So, do you have a problem to connect this? Okay. Now it starts to work. Okay, it looks that everybody sees something else. So it looks that most of the people use or have the link in the precision agriculture with the technology. Doesn't matter if it's digital technology or technology in general. So if we can go for the next question. Which tool would be the most realistic for a micro farm in your region? So there are some examples. Sorry for that first two. Just choose the first one if you are going for the soil moisture sensors. Okay, so it looks that it's more the soil moisture sensors or the weather stations. Okay, so it looks that we have the winner, that are soil moisture sensors. We can go for the next question. Which farm problems should microfarms solve first with the simple data? So it's water use, crop stress, soil protection, pest and disease monitoring, weak promotion, low visitor engagement, product traceability, or the climate risk. Okay, so I think that we can go for the last one. And this is again the cloud word. So suggest one simple smart agritourism experience using a precision agriculture tool. So what do you suggest? What do you suggest to use? No suggestions, no ideas? All right, what is your preferable tools to use in your farms, in your business idea to support community engagement? Yeah, sensor tools. But this community engagement is interesting idea, because you can use not only the social media, but also it could be like a shared platform for the sensors, for the data that you can collect in the same region, same place. Okay, so I let it open for the short time. So what is the final message of this lecture? I didn't present how the technologies works. It was not part of this presentation, but I wanted to show you how the precision agriculture can help to small farmers understand their land, water, crops, and decision better. I tried to explain how the tools of precision agriculture can help to observe your agri-food, agri-tourism business more carefully, how you can use the resources more efficiently, and how to respond to the problems that can appear at your farms earlier. As you already mentioned with the community engagement, agri-tourism can help, or that the precision agriculture can help the agri-tourists, companies, entities share the knowledge with the people. It gives visitors the chance to learn, taste, and experience and understand the work behind the food production. So the precision agriculture is not only for and this can be the main key message from this lecture, that the precision agriculture is not only for the big farms, but this is also important for the micro farms if you use them wisely, if you use them just exactly in your needs, And if you choose the right tools that can reflect your situation and your business plans. So thank you for your attention, and I give you, if you have any questions, I am here, or we have a time also for tomorrow, and I give the floor to Leslie to inform us about the future activities. Thank you.